Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
And hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Golf with Gary, the final edition of 2018. Yes, this will be our final edition of Talking Golf with Gary for this year. Going to take a few weeks off and come back in January. We got some great shows already lined up, so fear not, we'll be back. And they're in the can. They're ready to go. We're real excited about some of the guests we're having on in the future. So be sure to stick with us, and don't forget, the best thing to do is to subscribe on the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe on iTunes so you never miss any of the action taking place on Talking Golf with Gary. So let's do a quick. Got a great guest today, by the way. And but let's do a quick recap of what went on last week. Not too much, only two things to go over. But pretty interesting stuff. The PGA Tour had the PNC Father Son Challenge, which isn't really a sanctioned event, but it's one of those made-for-TV things, I think, and it's fun. The players get a kick out of it because they get to play with their kids, and the fans get a kick out of it because they get to see the families in action. So, but it was won this year by the Team Love. Davis Love III and his son Drew Love closed with a 16 under 56 in a scramble format to set two tournament records and win the PNC Father Son Challenge by 3 shots last Sunday. Team Love shot 27 on the front 9 at the Ritz-Carlton Golf Club and took the lead with a birdie at number 11 and finished off the record round with 4 more birdies and an eagle. The 56 beat by 1 the record previously held by Raymond Floyd and his son in 1995 and by Bob Charles and his son in 1998. John and Little John Daly shot 62 and tied for second with Retief and Leo Goosen and Stewart and Connor Sink. Team Love finished at 26 under the 118, breaking by 1 shot the record in the scramble format. And Jack Nicklaus played, I think I read it, with his 4th different partner, played with his grandson GT Nicklaus, and he's played with his sons and now his grandson. So I think it was his fourth different partner, and he finished in 15th place. Just a fun event. You know, it's a great thing to watch on TV, and you get to see some of the big stars. Great to see Nicholas at 79 or 78 still playing the game. Over in the European Tour, David Lipsky won his 2nd European Tour title at the Alfred Dunhill Championship after a dramatic final round at Leopard Creek Country Club. The American was making his first visit to Leopard Creek, but he was also making himself right at home as he opened up a 6-shot lead at one point and led by 4 as he stood on the 16th tee. The advantage was cut to 1 after a late wobble, but Lipsky signed for a 68 and finished at 14 under, 2 shots ahead of Scotland's David Drysdale, with Scott Jamieson and Xander Lombard a further shot back. Lipsky won the European Masters in 2014 in his first season as an affiliate member and had been a picture of consistency before struggling last year and securing just a single top 10. So congratulations to David Lipsky winning his 2nd European Tour title at the Alfred Dunhill Championship. And that's really the wrap up for this week of all the action that was going on. Not a heck of a lot, as we said. Just a quiet time of year. And they're all going to take off and come back in January nice and strong for the holidays. All right. And we're going to take a break and be back right after this with our special guest. You're going to love this. This guy he's a pro and works in Spain. He's got an ebook out. So it's still time to pick it up before Christmas. This is a great book. Very interesting, different approach to the game. But he'll be with us right after these messages.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
I'm joined tonight by a golf professional of 25 plus years. He has a new book out, an ebook. It's called Golf Elementary and Build a Solid Foundation, Physical and Mental, to play consistent golf. And he is John Roethling, and he joins me right now. John, you're all the way in Spain joining me. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Thank you very much for having me.
John, so how did you get started in this game of golf?
Lucky. I was on a cruise about 30 years ago. Got invited in Acapulco by a beginner who was with me on the ship to play the Acapulco Princess golf course, rented clubs. First time had clubs in my hand, broke a 9-iron on a palm tree, made a par on a par 3, and I got hooked from that on for life. I sold my business. I was in financial business. I sold my business 2 years after, went to Miami, played 24 hours golf, really up and down. It was then. And then at a certain point, I decided to, you have to make some money, so get professional. I was good enough. I was +1 after 3 years. And I played nearly 20 years in second and third level tours and had a lot of pro-ams. And there I noticed that really the high handicappers are the forgotten ones. I call them the forgotten ones because all the tuitions, all the golf instructions I see on YouTube is really, in my opinion, for handicap 15 and better. It's too complicated for a handicap 28 to do that. Yeah, he has to do a drill. He does it 3 times, doesn't work, leaves it. Yeah, so this is not working. That's why I started to focus on these kind of players, and I have to say great success in the last more than 15 years since I'm here. Yeah, I get nearly every high handicapper who comes to me and does what I'm telling him. I get him to break 90 in very short time. Yeah, and for me, 90 is the starting to play golf.
Right. And look, if you're high handicap, and just getting to that point will make you happy, I think,
Yeah. That solves a lot of things. Yeah. If you have a flight of 4 handicap 18 and better in front of you, your round is 4.5 hours max.
Right.
They're running around like chicken. They are not 25 chips and putts and everything. They play golf.
Right.
And everybody 20 plus usually does not. And this has a lot to do with understanding. Yeah? And this is the main focus in my book. There's an instructional part, but let's say just the important stuff. I'm not so much, I don't believe in talking about swing if I don't see the person. Yeah?
And
you can do things wrong.
And really, a lot of, I would say a lot of pros, but some pros try to cookie cut. They try to put you in your in what they're teaching and believe, and really everybody's a little bit different, and it's very difficult.
This is the worst thing I see, especially here we're on the Costa del Sol. It's a little bit like Miami. This means the clients are 45 plus, sometimes 55 plus. Yeah, not too many very young people. And what shall I do with somebody who is 55, 60, spent all his life in a chair or in a car or in an office? I would definitely hurt him if I tried to give him a tour swing. Yeah? And the next swing, in my opinion, is overrated. As long as Rory McIlroy, with the maybe best swing on the planet, can hit it 70 meters left and 50 meters right, what does swing help you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, you talk about in your book how golf is different from other sports. Of course. Talk to us a little bit about that.
This is what it is. People are, in my opinion, golf, because I did everything. Besides maybe ice hockey, I did every sport. And a few of them even professionally, starting with football or soccer. As you know, then American football, I played 3 years in American football. So I know a little bit about sport. And golf is the only one addictive. You want to hear that ball crush. You want to hear that, sound from the club face. You want to see it fly. This is an incredible feeling. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Believe me. Yeah. So really, this sport is totally different. And the next thing is, of course, you have no opponent. There is nobody you can fight. Just yourself and the golf course. And the golf course, it seems that it doesn't defend, but in reality it does. But of course, when you activate your main organ, the brain, then you see where the golf course is defending, and you can easily outplay it. But only if you use your brain. Only then. Yeah? And this is the main. Sometimes I'm sorry to say that, and that maybe sounds harsher than I mean it, because I'm every day on the golf course and I see it every day. It looks like everybody comes to the starter, and first thing is they deposit their brain. And then everybody rips out a driver, even if the first hole is incredibly difficult, with water, with OB, with tree lines, whatever. No, everybody wants to have his driver, and guess what? Yeah, 4 people leave the first tee, and you see nobody on the fairway. Yeah, this is a usual sight I'm seeing every day.
I know. I have to carry a bow and arrow. I'm in the woods so much.
So
but
it
is true.
This is really totally different. It's totally different than any other sport.
I think we deposit our brain, but we think we're using our brain, but we're really using our ego when we get to the tee box there.
This is exactly what it is. Yeah, and okay, ego is fine. Tiger has an ego, but he underlines his ego with a lot of work and practice.
Right.
And when you practice 10 hours a day for 10 years, you can have an ego. You can try things. Yeah? But if you pass the driving range on your way to the first tee and play it once a weekend, you should leave your ego, in your pocket. It would be better. Yeah? Otherwise, it's just no fun. Not for you, in reality, I think, and not for those people behind you, especially for the people. Because one of my big concerns is really that golf rounds with 5.5 and 6 hours are no fun. I mean, no fun at all. Yeah? And And this is what we have here. Yeah, because we have the situation that clubs need money and they don't really look at your handicap. And there are golf courses which are supposed to start with handicap 24 because they are difficult. They are really championship courses. When a guy with handicap 30 gets on that, he's not getting, with a bucket full of balls lost and an incredible score. Mm-hmm.
Now you talk about making a plan, and I'm just going to go through a couple of these things, and building a pre-shot routine. I think that's something else that we don't do, and sometimes I think I play a lot of municipal courts, courses that are owned by the local government and everything, and they tend to rush you through, and I think sometimes that's why maybe amateurs don't do a pre-shot routine, even though it would probably save you time in the long run.
That's what I mean. This is exactly what it is. If somebody is telling you why you make 2 or 3 practice swings, it can always answer, these practice swings are not taking as long as it takes me to make a bad shot and look for it. Yeah? This is always the best answer. And pre-shot routine with 20-25 seconds is not, you just have to practice it at home or at a driving range. Right. But this is something, and a plan. A plan is so important. Everybody wants to control something which is not controllable, the swing. Just wrote an article which I will post tomorrow or the next few days about sword control. Everybody wants to control the swing. The swing is a free-flowing motion from definition. And there is no control in a free-flowing motion. Because if we let the club swing like our physics wants to swing him, we will always get a perfect result. The club face will hit the ball mid of center and it will go straight. If we interfere by trying to control it, we mess it up most of the time. This is what it is. Yeah? And we have the control in address, we have the control in the grip, we have the control in everything before we start swinging. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. It's whoop. The address is just whoop. No control, no thinking, no nothing. And then thinking and controlling the swing, which is not controllable. So this is a paradox I see day after day in golf. This is what I'm addressing in the book. And I hope when somebody is reading it and understanding that he can change it, because everything is to change. It's nothing. It's about changing your approach, changing your thinking,
now,
and it works.
Do you think? Do we think too much? I mean, when we get up to a ball at the tee, and do we freeze ourselves or paralyze ourselves by thinking too much about? Keep your left arm straight, bend your knees, do this, don't go into a chicken wing, keep your club face this, and then you become so paralyzed. And I think that's where your pre-shot routine comes in, because if you stick to that, then you wouldn't need to think as much.
These thoughts, you say, they are, of course, poison. They are absolute poison. You cannot think about any technique on the golf course. It's not possible. Yeah, advanced players can have a little bit of maybe in the first yard of the backswing until they are halfway up, parallel to the ground, something like that. This is possible. For a beginner or a high handicap player, he should not ever think about technique on the golf course. It's not possible. That ruins everything. He can either go into neutral by concentrating on breathing. This is neutral, and let his body do whatever the body wants to do, or he can focus on the target. If you think about your target, let's say you hit your 730, 150 yards, there is something on the fairway in 150 yards. You look at it, this is your target. Ball has to go to that target. And believe me, in 90% of the time, your body will support you. Your body will make a movement which gets the ball there. If you think something else, like long, far, straight, hard, whatever, this is, your body cannot do anything with it. This is a living organism you're talking to. Your body has to support you. And if you have any doubts about that, think about when you're driving. You think about everything, but just not on driving. Mm-hmm. Your body is driving you to where you want, and you can think whatever you want there. You can talk on the phone. You can do whatever you want, and the body is driving you, and the body will make the appropriate move in golf. And believe it or not, even with beginners, I had it because we had struggled. We were really fighting after 10 that he couldn't get the ball straight out there. And then I told him, just think about what you want. You want the ball go there. He did it and hit it straight, flushed it. It's not always possible, and it's working maybe sometimes only once or twice. But when it works once or twice, there is something true in it. You just have to get more and deeper into it. Yeah.
Well, you talk a lot about confidence and building that confidence in your game, and also I think we're a little too tied to the scorecard. And you talk about that as well.
Maybe. Gary, you know yourself. Confidence is everything on the golf course. If you have it, you play well. If you don't have it, it's rubbish. You can't make a proper swing. You can't make a proper shot. Most people tell me, if I'm more consistent, I will have more confidence. But my approach is completely the opposite. Take a club which you're confident with, and if it's a 9-iron, we will be consistent, right? Because you believe in that 9-iron, and then you hit 3 9-irons, 120 yards each, 360 yards, you're close to the green. Chip and putt, and you make a 5. And you're not even thinking, because your body does not care if the ball goes 100 or 200 meters. It has to fly properly, and then it's positive for your confidence. Mm-hmm. If you drive it 250 yards, it's only boosting your ego, and you're so happy that you can't make the second shot. If you miss it, it ruins your confidence immediately. And not only for a second, for the day, for the week, for the month.
I'm laughing, but it's so true, because I can tell you how many times I'll hit a good drive, and then I'll get up there and I'm going, oh, maybe I can make the green in 2 now, and go for a birdie, and then I'll try to overhit the second shot. I'll top the ball, and then I'm all like, darn, and everything goes out the window. So it's so true what you're saying there.
Yes, because it happens only because you're so happy that you made that drive. That happiness, making that drive ruins your second shot. That happiness that you hit the green is ruining your putt.
Right.
Watch pros on TV. They hit it 350 yards and they don't even twitch a little bit. Who cares? Because, honestly, playing 30 years now, nobody ever came out of the bushes after a 300-yard drive and slapped me on my back. Nobody cares. When I come in with a 63, yes, this is something. But hitting the ball, who cares? And hitting the ball close is nice, but who cares? Yeah. And one birdie, who cares? Or one par, who cares? It's 18 holes, or 9 holes if you want. Mm-hmm. And then you have done something. Only then. Mm-hmm. Making 2 good holes and 7 slashes. Who cares? You can make 2 eagles or 2 holes in one and 7, slashes. So, come on, rubbish. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, yes. I'm reminded of another story. When I was a kid, young in my 20s, and a friend of mine, we would go play a certain course, and we would see this older gentleman at that time play, and it was just amazing to me because he'd get up there, he'd hit the ball like you say, he hit maybe 150, 160 yards, and and we're up there as 20-year-old kids trying to bash the ball 250 yards, and then he'd get up there, hit his next shot, but right down the middle, maybe another 125, 150 yards, and then he'd be on the green, and we're still in the woods looking for our ball.
This is how this game is at the moment played. I was talking today with a young guy. He's making his first steps as a professional on tour, and we were talking about hitting it long because he said, "Yeah, maybe I'd have to get 10 more yards from my drive." I remember 6 years ago, I was still playing highly competitive. There was a Volvic Long Driving Champions Pro-Am here in Marbella. I entered as a guest with my team and made second place. The first guys of the Volvic Long Driving was 75, I think. Yeah, I shot a 71 on a not so good day and got second place.
Okay.
Yeah, and another pro here from the area won it with 2 under, and these guys were not even close to breaking par. They hit it nearly to the green on every hole.
Right.
Yeah, but in the end, it's not golf. It's not golf.
Right.
It's just hitting the ball.
Right.
You can do that on the driving range. You don't need a golf course for that.
And you talk in the book about an interesting thing. You mentioned about swinging the club versus hitting the ball, and I think it's an interesting thing if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Gary, you've been on a lot of tees, and you see a lot of guys swinging practice swings, and some of them even look good, don't they?
I do it myself.
Yeah, they look good. And then suddenly, when they address the ball, they make a move you never expect in your life. You never expect in your life. Right. So, watching that for a while, there are only 2 possibilities. Everybody's stupid, and I don't believe that, because these people I'm teaching, they are, highly competent, they are very successful in life, and they have a lot of money and all these things. But they make exactly that. They make a fantastic practice swing, which is smooth, brushing the grass, getting into a finish, everything perfect. And then they go to the ball and make a jerky, hacking motion. The only explanation for me is they changed their intentions. Before, when they make a practice swing, they have the intention to make a practice swing, and they're swinging the club. And as soon as they go to the ball, they want to hit the ball. But that intention is transferred to the executioner. The executioner is your body. And when you tell your executioner, hit that ball, he doesn't need a swing for that. You don't need a swing to hit something. You can hit it somehow. And hitting is, let's say, we always have to make an order of what we want to do. Yeah? So we have to tell, like you give something into Google and press enter. Yeah? So you tell your body, I want the ball to go there. Good. This is one way. The other way is you make a nice practice swing and take that as the order for the movement you do. Works really good, but on everybody different. Yeah. But when you are When your intention is to hit the ball, you get to hit the ball. And this is usually a jerky, hacking motion. It's not a swing. Why should you swing? Why should your body swing if you don't want to swing? You want to hit the ball. You understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
I hope it gets over. Yeah, this is very, very important, and it's so easy changeable. As soon as somebody understands it and changes his practice swing and his thoughts about that, then it's gone. And suddenly he can make his practice swing similar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is always a bit more tension. This is what it is. This is always a bit more tension. Yeah, this is not avoidable. Because we all know, we all seen Tiger Woods hitting or losing a ball on the first tee. Mm-hmm. So if this is tension. Yeah, we all have that kind of tension as soon as the ball is in play. Right. This is what it is. Right. Yeah, but at least similar.
So we should just try to relax and make the practice swing and let the ball get in the way of the golf club.
That's what it is, and you hear that this is something maybe you noticed. There is not many new things in my book. I think a lot of people who read a lot or who heard a lot, they heard most of it already. But it goes in here and there because they don't think it's important.
Right.
You know, yeah, okay, I heard it, I know that, and no, all these little things are incredibly important. Yeah? What I know from my first lessons is try hard not to try hard. If you want to hit it long, swing slow. These were the best advices I've ever got. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I hear now, and this is on every newsletter I get and in videos I get from colleagues all over the world, swing harder, swing faster, swing faster, swing faster. That may be okay for a 10 handicapper and better. But it's absolute poison for a 25 handicapper for a beginner. Mm-hmm. Because where they get fast is the transition. They get fast in the transition where they should be really slow. Look like Hideki Matsuyama is maybe the perfect example of that. Yeah. This is what you call a slow transition.
Right.
Yeah?
And you know, if you think about it, if you look at Ernie Els. Ernie Els is he swings like there's no effort, and he doesn't look like he's going very fast at all. You know, going back in the day, I remember Julius Burrows had a very smooth and a tempo type swing, not a hard driving swing. Like I always thought Tiger was too. I can't, how can I explain it? I just thought he was trying to kill the ball all the time.
I understand exactly what you mean.
And not be in rhythm as much.
Yes, I understand exactly what you mean. Mm-hmm. And what do you think about professional golf in the last 10 years? How does it reflect to amateur golf?
I don't think there's any connection at all in a way. And in fact, a lot of times I'll even say, I would rather watch the LPGA here, the ladies play, because it's, how does a girl that's 5'3" hit the ball that well? Well, it's all in her tempo, and I say that now, but when I get on the golf course, I try to kill the ball anyway. But that's because I left my brain at the starter's desk.
If you had a caddy or somebody behind you who talks to you, you would be able easily to change that. Yeah. But this is exactly what is my opinion. The pro golf is very, very good to watch, and it's a big show. It's a big show. That's what it is.
Right.
But it has nothing, and it sometimes kills professional golf because they don't. It looks like they don't get it. Yeah, they don't get it. These people. Doesn't matter who on top. They practice 8 to 10 hours every bloody day. I mean every day. And then show something, comes and says, yes, I can do it because I had a club in hand for a week or two. I'm sorry, this is bad. And even trying is bad, because there's no respect. In a way, there is no respect for the incredible work these guys today put into it. Yeah,
Right.
it changed the face of golf completely. I don't like Tiger. He's really hitting it sometimes too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all these guys do it, and he was the first. He was the first. He did that.
And
Now we have sport. Yeah, real sport. Before, when the guys got with their bellies around, who is drinking the most and gets it away with it, he's winning on Sunday.
I kind of miss those guys, though.
Yes, that was fun. That was relaxed. And you could take something from it. Believe me, you could take something as an amateur, you could take something from it. Because they had to really think their way around a golf course. They had to think around a golf course their way like we have to do as, not so strong players who can 450 yards, okay, drive and a chip.
Yeah, it's so true, and I think as I get older, I had stepped away from the game for a while, but I always would I'd read an article here and there, and now getting back into it again, I see how much is the emphasis is so much on power, and I'm a big baseball fan, so I do a podcast on baseball as well. And it's the same thing there. They're so they're emphasizing power hitters and these launch angles and too many stats. I think with club head speed and how fast the ball coming off and the old guy the other guys didn't do that, yet they played just as well.
They played just as well. I heard not so long ago an anecdote about Lee Trevino when his caddy told him 106 yards, take a 6-iron. Yeah, and he said, I want the distance. And the guy said, take a 6-iron. And then he hit his driver, his 3-iron, his 6-iron, his 7-iron, and something else to the green from the same distance. That never tell me what kind of club I'll take. So this is, I believe me, not 10% of the guys playing on tour can do that today.
Right.
Not 10% of them.
Because
they are only one thing. Yeah, it's one thing. It's hitting it long and then trying to get. Let's figure it out from there.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It is not an amateur game. It's fine that they do it. It's a show. It's fine. They get a lot of money. It's fun on TV to watch it and everything.
Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, but has nothing to do with our golf. We have to play.
Right.
Yeah, when I have 600 yards, it is a good 3-shotter. I'm not even thinking about anything else. Yeah, like these when I see, I have no idea how they do it. But I'm 64 now, so it's I'm taking it slow in a way.
Right. It is. I just feel there's too much emphasis on the power game today, and it's funny because Ben Hogan wrote a book, I think, Power Golf, but it's completely different from what they're doing today.
Yeah. So it's but we have to get back to our possibilities. This is the thing. People who play golf have to first think about what can I do and what I can't do or shouldn't do. It's the same when you making your driver's license and start driving a car. You shouldn't take a car with 100 or with 1,000 horsepower and go to a racing car. This is not what you should do now. And usually, because it's very expensive and it can threaten your life, people don't do it.
Right.
But in golf, it's not so expensive and it costs a ball. That's why they do it.
Well, in my case, it could cost a dozen balls.
Yeah, even a dozen is not so expensive. Yeah, even a dozen is not so expensive.
How important is club fitting in this whole thing?
Yes, I think club fitting is really important because when I see what kind of clubs people bring to me, yeah, I just bought that, and I think, wow. Let's say a 55-year-old guy with 65 kilo and not too tall, with a stiff shaft, and and this is and best is iron shafts, yeah, stiff, yeah, something. Or women just get the old sticks from the men. How can they swing it? It's impossible.
Right.
They cannot bend the shaft.
Right.
They have to bend the shaft to get all out of it. Club fitting is, at least to a certain point, it's really important. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure, when you are standard height, normal age, 40 something, nothing special, you can take something from the rack. But everybody else should have a look, get somebody to help him. What kind of shaft? There's so many different things which can ruin your game. Mm-hmm. The wrong shaft can absolutely ruin. You make a swing like a god and ball is not going anywhere.
Right. And you advocate in your book about getting fit for a putter, especially, and you make a good point. Everybody wants to buy the driver, but we use the putter on every hole, or practically. yeah, a lot. Yeah.
In best cases one, but usually twice.
Sometimes 3 or 4.
Yes. And that's why the putter is enormous. And there is, you don't have to pay $500 for a putter, but I haven't seen too many good putters under $200. Yeah, there are, sometimes you get one out of the, racket bin or somewhere from a second-hand store, but this is very, very lucky. Usually you go to a shop and try 10, 15, 20, and one sticks to you. That has to stick to you. That is something that I always tell my people, you have 13 clubs maximum in your bag, and these are tools. These are real tools. And you have one, this is a putter, this is the brush of the artist. Yeah? Mm-hmm. This is a brush for a painter. Yeah? You have to do something. This is special. I'm not so much into putting, teaching putting. I have fundamentals, yeah, and tell them what to do. But if they watch me too much, they do what I do, and this might not be. You've been to Pro Tours, watching Pro Tours live, mm-hmm. Did you?
Yes.
If you go to the driving range for swings, 100 guys there, you see at least 60, 65 different swings, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You go to the putting green, 100 guys there, you see 99 different grips, postures, movement.
Right.
Putting is purely individual because that putting has something in it like chipping, which you can't teach, which you have to develop. It's feel, mm-hmm. touch. This is something you have to work. This is a working part, yeah, where you have to work, yeah. And the good thing is you can do it at home. Buy a putting mat. It's the first. If you don't like training aids, but a putting mat is a must. You need to have a putting mat at home to practice putting. Then you don't have sometimes not to go to the driving range. This is okay. I understand that. Like if you bring practice swings in your backyard, it's fine.
Right.
But putting is absolutely necessary.
And I think for us as high handicaps, and you practically mentioned this in the book, that chipping and putting is probably the two most important things to do, because anybody can do it, really. I mean, with practice.
Yes, this is what it is. So there are absolute limits what you can do with your long swing. There are absolute limits to be with age, motion, flexibilities, power, all these things. Yeah, we are limited. Otherwise, everybody would hit it 350. And I'm sorry to say that I hate these newsletters. Old guy hits it 290. You can hit it 290, even if you're crippled and whatever. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. You shouldn't even open these things. Throw them away. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, but chipping and putting, there is no reason why not everybody can chip and putt like Tiger or whoever is best at the moment. It's just a matter of work. Mm-hmm. You don't need power. You don't need mobility. You don't need any strength. You just need time. Time, mm-hmm. and practice. That's all. And you can work wonders. You work wonders. Nobody cares how you get 20, 30, 40 meters in front of the green. You can go a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, just find your ball again. That's all it is. And then, after your third shot on the par 4, you make a chip and a putt. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you are in 2 in front of the green. Because you can keep a ball with 180, 190 yards on the fairway. Yeah? Because this is the important part. Keeping the ball in play. Keeping the ball in play. Whatever club you use, who cares? There is no extra point, there is no extra medal, there is no extra money for taking a specific club. Whatever you can keep in play. And believe me, it's so frustrating for people who like to use driver when they see a guy beside them hitting a 9-iron, and then a 9-iron, and then a 9-iron, chip and putt and make a 5. And they hit it first one in the woods, hack it out, hit it in the bunker, scull it over the green, and make a 7. You understand what I mean?
Oh, yes.
I have these episodes or stories, hear them every day from my students when they go to play with others. Mm-hmm. Because I'm taking out all the long clubs if they're back. And that always works. There are some, of course, yeah. When you only can hit the ball 160 meters with a driver, use your driver, right. No question. Right. But if you can hit your driver 200 yards and more as a beginner, don't use it. Put it in the garage and wait until it's time. There will be a time. There will be a time when you break 90 consistently. Then it's time. Take your driver, start hitting it, because then your confidence is high. Your short game is much, much better, and you can do whatever you want because you have the tools. Now you don't have it. Now you don't have it. If you're in the rough with handicap 28, 26, you're dead. First thing, you may be not finding it. Second, you're angry because you're in the rough. Yeah, you're not supposed to be in the rough, so you're angry on yourself. How can that be? How can I get into the rough? See, this is the difference. We hit it in the rough, and we don't care.
Right.
Because we have the tools to get out. Yeah, I know I can get to the green or close to the green from there. I don't care if I hit it in the rough. Right. As long as I find it. But most amateurs are angry on themselves, and that anger, of course, destroys the next shot. We've been there already. Emotions. Yeah, good and bad. And they don't. This is a good thing. What you see now on TV, they are all controlled. They making birdie, and stick to the head, and that's it. Not jumping around and fist pumping, blah blah blah, because that doesn't work. Right. That does not work.
Well, I think I've learned over the years too. I mean, if I do go into the woods now, instead of trying to make that miracle shot to get out, I'll just try to punch it out just to get back on the fairway. But it took me a long time to get to that point. And as I say, as I get older, I think I'm trying to adjust more. But again, it's again, as you say, it's a lot of work, and we just don't play enough to try these other difficult things when we should really try to play smarter with the whole thing.
Try to play smarter, and you win every time. Believe me, you win every time for yourself and against others, and you're a totally happy golfer. If you keep the ball in play, don't lose it, make a decent score. Yeah, even if it's not 90, if it's 92, 93, but with a decent way, in a decent way, yeah, then that everything will come soon. It's just a matter of time. Golf is time. You cannot rush anything. You cannot push anything. You cannot fight in golf. You have to give it time, and it comes and goes as it wants. Yeah, that's why best players in the world shoot 61 and 80 the next day.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
This is when we do it. We think, okay, we are stupid. We are, just amateur. We are, But these people do that. These guys who are practicing day and night and really live for it all their life, and they do it. This is because this is the game. This is a game. What the game does to us, if we let it.
Right.
Yeah. And there have not been many who really could control it like Tiger in his best days.
So how do we get to that point? How do we get to the point where we know which club to use off the tee? Is it just going through your bag and seeing which ones you hit the best and have the most confidence in? And
this is simple. You go to the driving range.
right.
This is what you really have to do. You have to take an hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes. Yeah? And then you tee it up, low, start with a 7-iron off the tee.
Okay.
Before you make an imaginary fairway, not too wide, please, yeah, so realistic,
Right.
and have to hit 8 out of 10 consequent into that imaginary fairway. If you do that and the others are not terrible, they are just, leaving it by rolling outside, then you can say, this is a club, I stand on the tee, whatever I have in front of me, I can be on the fairway. Then you do the same with the 6-iron, 5-iron, and then you will notice that at least with a 5-iron or a 5 hybrid or a 5 wood, where you hit it 180 yards or a little bit longer, then it gets really difficult to keep 8 out of 10 on that imaginary fairway. And then you have to say, I'm sorry, this is not for tournaments. This is not for serious golf where I'm betting money or something like that, because I will lose. As soon as I'm deep in the rough, usually I'm dead. And then you have your clubs. But the funny thing is, nobody makes the easy mathematic calculations. 400 yards is not a very long par 4. Yeah? 400 yards. Tee shot, 160. Second shot, because it's from the fairway, 140. 300. So you have 100 yards to the green. That should be pitching wedge, 9-iron. And I'm sorry, these are the clubs you have to be good with.
Right.
If you can't hit a pitching wedge straight, if you can't hit a 9-iron straight, I'm sorry, maybe you should start again. Yeah? Yes, because then you try
Right.
too long to hit your driver and can't hit a pitching wedge straight.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to hit a pitching wedge straight, you have to hit a 9-iron to the green. Yeah, it doesn't have to be straight, they are wide enough, they are long enough. So, and then you have 2 putts, make a 5, boom. And believe me, sooner or later, or out of 10 shots, 1 or 2 are close enough, and you make the putt. You make it by making a good putt. Yeah, this is the thing. And there are a lot of shorter par fours. And same thing when I see with the par threes, 180, 190, 200 yard par three. Okay, take my driver. How stupid can that be? I'm sorry. Hit your 7-iron, sand wedge, 1 or 2 putts. Never more than 4. Never. Take your driver and you have your 5 guaranteed. Sometimes you make a par. Yes, true. But most of the time you make nothing. Yeah? It's all about thinking before. This is when I make a plan. What I have in front of me, okay. Par 3 divided in 2. Par 4 divided in 3. Par 5 divided in 4. And always take your favorite approach shot. It is not really, clever if you have a problem from 30 yards in to hit it as close as possible to the green. Yeah, if you have a 50 or a 60 or a 70 approach with a sand wedge, which works all the time, yeah, you can make 10 out of 10. So you have to get your ball to that 60-yard marker. Yeah, you have to find out, okay, there is about 60 yards. I hit my 8-iron there instead of a 7 or even a 9-iron, and then take my sand wedge. I hit that. I see that every day. Yeah, second shot, hybrid, 35 meters in front of the green. I don't have that 35-meter shot because it's a very difficult shot. Right. Yeah, so they hit them 60 over the green and chip from the other side.
Right. I
leave it short in the bunker.
Yeah, I just don't think we think. I think it's, but again, I think it's the ego that takes over a lot of times, and you want to try to get on in 2 or whatever but this makes so much sense, and it's I think we all have to do it, and we'll, like you say, we'll enjoy the game more.
You would enjoy the game more, and the people behind you would enjoy the game more. This is, we are a community. We are a community. Right. We share a nice sport and a beautiful course. Yeah, and you can easily ruin somebody's day, as you know.
Yes,
easily.
I know. Yeah? I've been on both sides of it.
You've been on both sides, yes. Yeah, happens. Me too. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I found a book. There's lots of pictures and instruction and drills to do to improve the game, and I'm going to start on them today.
Yeah? Good. I love it.
I can't really get outside. It's a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
I will when I can and practice some swinging. And so, John, where can folks get this book? There's still time to get it before Christmas.
Yes.
So it makes a great Christmas gift for the golfer. So tell us how we can get it.
I reduced the price extra for this occasion to $29. They just go to my website, which is https://confident-golf.com.
Okay, and they can order it, and it's like an immediate delivery.
There is a button, and they get onto ClickBank. Yeah, and from ClickBank they download it. Okay. They can also go through my Facebook page, Confident Golf. There is also possibility. Just Confident Golf on Facebook. They can find me there as well, and the possibility, and they get the same routes and get through website and to the book.
All right. Any future books coming in? Thinking of writing something else?
The next project is definitely the recording video to the video to that. Yeah, where I'm with 2 or 3 students, get through that process and have that. Yeah, and for me, there is a lot of really good teachers are there for the advanced players and a lot of things are said in that. I really try to focus on those who don't have the time, who don't want to spend their time, yeah, and I will find ways to make their life easier and the golf more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
So you made the first step. You have the book.
That's right, and I'm going to start working on it immediately. And I want to thank you for coming on tonight and taking
Thanks
this
for having
time.
me.
And I'm glad we were able to work out the time difference and the day and everything.
Yeah.
Sponsor an ad on the podcast. Support our show and let people know about your business. Email us today.
Okay, and we're back, and this is the spot where we would normally play the calendar song, but we're not going to play the calendar song this week because there's no reason. I'm not going to be here next week to do the event. So, as I said, this is the last episode of the season, and that's it until next season. I hope that you enjoyed the interview. I know I did, with John Roethling. I want to thank my guest, John Roethling, for coming on the show. And remember, you can go to his website and still get the book. It's an e-book. It's a matter of seconds that it downloads, but fascinating information there. So go pick it up and enjoy it. And I want to thank all of you for listening. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and Google Play and wherever you listen to or watch the podcast. I know we started up late in the season, this new edition of Talking Golf with Gary, and it's been a blast. And we're going to be back next year, bigger and better than ever, and going to make some changes and tune up some things so to give you an even better show. And if you have any suggestions or anything like that, you can call me. The voicemail is 516-362-0443, or you can email me at talkinggolf@gmail.com. Again, I want to thank everybody for listening, and I hope you'll be back next year to listen, because we got a lot more great stuff to talk about in the world of golf, and maybe getting the more instructional type of things, talk about different aspects of the game, talk about putting, talk about club fitting even, and get into some depth with that, and have some more great manufacturers on of gizmos and gadgets and things that can help you improve your game. So I hope you'll join me again next year, and please tell your friends about the show, because it'd be really nice to build a big audience, and that's what our purpose is here, to try to build a big audience so we can all enjoy the show. And again, hit the subscribe button. It helps me grow the show and expand the listeners. And until next time, remember to have a safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. See you again next year. And remember, as you walk down the fairway of life, you must smell the roses, for you only get to play one round. Good night, everybody. See you in January.